Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Today looking at some more ship updates, specifically from the Drake and MISC line of ships. The MISC Hull C is what we're going to start with. It's a large dedicated cargo ship and it's completed its final modelling and surfacing stage, as well as being now in several stages of final art. They've been flying it around in dev builds of the game, so it's getting pretty close to completion. They've started with the Hull C for the Hull line of ships. It's the middle of the size of the Hull series, and it defines the rest of the Hull lineup. The ship can collapse its large cargo struts and compress down into a much smaller size for the purposes of travel or landing. When in cargo mode, it has long struts to hold cargo containers, as well as expanding length of the ship. You can't land when the struts are out, is the idea with the Hull C. The folding struts were extremely complicated to engineer, but they are using the solutions that they've made for them and the kind of mechanics behind them on the rest of the Hull series, and even the Pioneer. When it comes to offloading your cargo, you're still going to be able to connect to some stations via a docking collar or ramp while in your cargo mode, and you may have heard a while ago that Star Citizen was moving away from docking collars. This is kind of true, but is more referring to docking collars for ship-to-ship linking. That's what they're kind of moving away from. Stations and points of interest are still planned to use docking collars, and they might even bring back ship-to-ship dockings in the future, although at the moment they're going towards ship-in-ship docking and ship-on-ship docking, rather than connecting via docking collars. The Hull C does have some limited defences, but it requires an escort really to protect. These are dedicated cargo transports, and they can do smuggling and lots of other stuff as well, but they are really focusing on that cargo hauling. The engine room is like this three-tier behemoth dividing ship components and an airlock at the back of the ship into quite a compressed space, to be honest. And there's some strategically placed viewing windows so that you can view your cargo, but also the arms folding up and down when it goes into cargo mode and into its travel mode. The Prospector little mining platform is in its final prep stage, getting ready for 3.0. The mining mechanics won't be in until 3.1 though, so expect them end of March, end of April sort of time. It's the game's first proper mining ship. It's a small one-seater entry-level miner craft. It's going to be relatively affordable in-game as well. It has the big mining laser at the front, a powerful sensor as well, and ore pods on the side. The laser retracts when it's not in use. The ore pods can be detached, and you can get new ones on there, and that powerful sensor is going to allow you to track down a lot of different materials and asteroids and potential mining targets. So you can scan asteroids, or you can go on the ground and survey on the ground, and then you're going to land there, whether it be on an asteroid or on the ground, and you can use your ship to mine a small area or effectively survey it for larger ships or mining operations. In fact, its ability to prospect for deposits of valuable ores and then have a mining facility built upon it, or call an Orion in and strip mine the entire area is extremely useful, and it makes the ship cross over into the exploration and surveying category. You can just sell the information that you find in areas that you've prospected and surveyed. Drake's Cutlass Black is in its final prep phase and is available in the 3.0 PTU like the Prospector right now. Drake can make a range of rugged and affordable ships, and this makes them the choice for a lot of outlaws, but also security forces alike. And the Cutlass Black is no different in this regard. So this had a big rework, and it was made, the original one, before Item System 2.0 and a lot of other systems came online for Star Citizen. It's been brought in line now with lots of new tech, like physically based rendering with much cooler damage shaders, but also they've drilled down on what the ship's intended role was. This kind of split the ship into two. The Buccaneer. So the Buccaneer was a fighter that was made because the original Cutlass wasn't really defined in its role. And that fighter, that Buccaneer, can now compete with other top-tier dogfighting ships. The new Cutlass Black is now a larger, more aggressive ship focused on cargo and a big forward-facing offensive loadout with 6 missile racks and 6 weapons. But the Cutlass Black is no longer any form of dogfighter. It's a militia raiding and support ship. It has an extra side door that opens up, and there's a large cargo bay which is sealed off from the cockpit and turret. The cargo bay had a larger entry point than the one it did before as well, so you can get vehicles in there now is the idea, more specifically a couple of dragonflies. There's a double bunk bed in there as well, so you can actually have a living space that you can both sleep in and log out in. The cockpit has has been reworked to allow the pilot and co-pilot to move around and exit their chairs more easily. Thrusters have been moved and rebalanced, so even if you lost a wing or a couple of the thrusters on the ship, it's not going to damage your ability to turn entirely, at least not as much as previously. The handling is noticeably different, and the ship has more teeth, effectively, and a more defined role than it does before. It's not a dogfighter, it's not a fighter in that traditional sense at all anymore. It is that raiding and support role, but it does have that powerful frontal array of weaponry. The canopy can be jettisoned as well now, so this is Drake's version of ejection for the Cutlass Blacks, I suppose. So the actual canopy blows off and you'd have to get out of your chair and escape the ship rather than any form of proper ejection. There's the possibility in the future as well that you might be able to put side-mounted weaponry behind those cargo doors that slide open, which would be pretty cool. The Cutlass Red and Blue will have those side doors as well, and those variants are obviously going to be benefiting from the rework as well and getting their own extra additional bits and bobs to them. I'm very, very happy with the Cutlass Black now. For 3.0 especially, it's very versatile for 3.0. It's definitely one to, if you've got it, you'll be quite happy with it. All these ships will eventually be purchasable in-game. With Alpha 3.1 coming after 3.0, obviously, that will have the ability to buy ships in-game for Alpha UEC, which is great. 3.0 does have the ability to purchase weapons and systems and that sort of stuff and modify your ships heavily. So there are gaming hooks for both. There's a lot of cool updates for ships coming for Capital ships, Squadron 42 ships, and I assume the Vandal in the upcoming holiday livestream, which will be very Squadron 42 centric. Don't have any dates for that yet, though. I suspect that it's going to be on the 15th or 22nd of December, though, on the Friday. The F8 Lightning Heavy Fighter, as well as a new ground vehicle, may be making an appearance as well. Nothing is confirmed for concept saily-wiseness, though. I do suspect something, because why wouldn't they have a concept sale? It only makes them money. Do you have any questions about any other ships? Do you want me to have a look at any other ships? Do you want me to do a ship buyer's guide on any of them? Chuck them in the comments below. Every month we have a giveaway. For December, it's the Orion mining vessel, which is huge now. I think it's 370 metres or 400 metres long or something. It's doubled in size. And it was donated by our featured org, Self-Made, an organisation looking at all types of gameplay, mainly with a lawful neutral stance, and they kind of focus on developing you as an individual and not being a dick to others. That's kind of the idea of their org. All you need to do to be in for a chance for winning that Orion is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and then comment on any of my Star Citizen videos during this particular month. So December for the Orion. Woo! Any questions for Alpha 3.0 stuff, or Star Citizen's development in general, or for me, or about any ships, chuck them in the comments below. A special thank you to my Patreons who allow me to create the amount of content I do. If you're interested in becoming one of them, then you can find the links to Patreon as well as everything else we've talked about down below too. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help me, and I'll see you in the verse.